Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kev from KaveMan Aquatics. Today we're going to be talking about how to clean your canister filters the proper way. Let's go. In today's video, we're going to talk about my order of operations of how to clean a canister filter. If you do it a different way, make sure to leave me a comment and we can talk about it. If you use a different type of media or stack your media in a different order, let me know. We'll discuss it below. Alright guys, so we've removed our canister from the tank and we've got our setup here with our towel and our bucket. This setup is for instructional purposes, so I can show you guys exactly how I clean my canister. Our first step is going to be removing the water from the canister. The reason why we want to use the water from inside the canister is that this tank water is what we're going to use to clean our sponges and our biomedia. If you use tap water, the chlorine in your tap water is going to kill off your beneficial bacteria. We want to preserve this as much as possible. That's why we're going to use tank water. And the best place to get the tank water is from inside your canister. I'll speed this part up so we can get to the goodies inside. If you notice how clear and clean this water is coming out of your canister, keep that in mind and take note of what this water looks like when we're done. So I popped the top, took the cover off the canister, gave that a quick little rinse. Now I'm removing the sponges. I'll give them a good squeeze and a good rinse. That's really all you need. These will come out pretty clean. You'll start to notice with everything that you clean with this tank water, the tank water will get a little dirty. Now I'm removing the medium sponges and I'm basically going to do the same process. Give them a good squeeze, a good little rub down, they'll be good to go. I'll dip this tray into the tank water just to give it a good rinse and get anything that's stuck on it off. Don't have to spend too much time cleaning this out. If you notice, the very first thing in the top of my media trays is a bag of Purigen. This bag of Purigen will last you a very long time. It can be reused, it can be recharged. At this point, this has a really brownish color. It most likely is already used up and can't be reused. I could go through the process of recharging it, but I have a brand new one on standby. I'll toss it in the bucket, leave it there for a while. We'll see what it looks like when we're done. Now these media trays hold all the biomedia in the canister. This top tray has matrix biomedia in it. All I'm going to do is give this a couple of dips in the water, not too much scrubbing, not too much moving around. You don't really want to mess with this too much. This is where most of your beneficial bacteria lives. So I'm just gonna give it a couple of dunks in the water, and that's about it. This second tray has a mix of matrix biomedia along with Fluval ceramic rings. I'm gonna do the same process with this tray. Give it a couple of dunks, good to go. You do not ever have to replace your biomedia. Your biomedia is where your beneficial bacteria live, and you want to preserve them for as long as possible. Do not replace your biomedia. My next tray has polyfill. Polyfill is a very fine piece of mechanical filtration. This stuff is dirt cheap and it helps tremendously in giving you crystal clear looking water. If you want some tips on how to get crystal clear looking water, check this video out. This polyfill, because it's so cheap and because once it gets dirty, it gets all clunked up, really hard to clean, I'm just gonna toss this in the trash and replace it with some new polyfill. No problem. Give the tray a few dunks just to get the excess trash out of there. The last tray on the bottom is going to hold your polishing pad as well as your coarse pad. These polishing pads can get cleaned after a couple of uses, but eventually you will need to replace these too. I'm giving it a good attempt at trying to clean them, but as you can see, they're kind of beat up. They still look a little bit dirty and worn out, so I'm most likely going to throw them in the trash and just replace them with new ones. So the last thing at the very bottom of your trays is going to be a coarse sponge. This sponge definitely can be cleaned and rinsed out. Doesn't need replacement too often. I'm going to do the same process as before with the sponges. Just give them a good squeeze, rub them down a little bit, get all that detritus off of them. Now that bag of Purigen that we left in the bucket to rinse off for a while, you see it's still a little bit brownish. Once your Purigen gets this medium to darkish color brown, it's no good anymore. You either got to recharge it or replace it. I'm going to go ahead and replace it. Make sure your trays are clean and free of debris just by giving them a few dunks in the water. The cover of your canister filter houses your motor and your impeller. During every canister cleaning, you should remove your impeller and give that a good scrub down. Now all you have left is an empty bucket. This bucket is okay to take it over to a tap water source and just rinse it out, bring it back clean. Now putting everything back together, we're gonna go in the reverse order. Our bottom tray is gonna hold our coarse black sponges, and right on top of your coarse sponges goes your polishing pad. Now while filming this video, I ran out of polishing pad, but I'm gonna continue the process just for instructional purposes. These are the polishing pads that you need. These are the Fluval polishing pads, very cheap. My next tray is where I keep my polyfill. And yeah, I ran out of that too. But here it is. $9 for this huge bag. Very worth it. All you gotta do take a handful of this stuff, rip it out, stuff this into your tray, make sure it doesn't protrude over the top. Good to go. Next goes your media trays, stack them back in the same order. Put all your media baskets back into your canister. And now we're gonna put our sponges back in place. Yes, your egg crates should point outwards. This is my new bag of Purigen. I'm gonna open it up and put it right on top of the tray. This is gonna be the last thing that your water hits before exiting your canister. The order of media in your canister should always be mechanical, biological, and then lastly, chemical. Here's a good comparison of what new Purigen versus used Purigen looks like. Once your Purigen gets this brownish color, you either need to recharge it by following the instructions on your Purigen label, or toss it and put a new one in, up to you. Now I'll reassemble the impeller components, put them back where they belong. Make sure your impeller cap gives a good snap when you're installing it, just to ensure correct placement. Put the motor back onto the base of your canister, snap it together, and we're all set. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you got any good information off this video, make sure to hit that like button, consider subscribing, and stay tuned for the next one.